What is going on? Welcome to the Life and Transitions Experts YouTube channel and Facebook group. I'm your host, Courtney Rollins, host and operator and also owner and operator of the State Pro Service LLC, where I help people through some of the biggest transitions in their life. If you have followed my channel over the last several months or so, you will find and know. Live call here, excuse me. We're live. You will find and know that I have added life insurance, particularly final expense, simple issue final expense life insurance to my tool belt to help people through some of these biggest transitions. For many years, I was in the world of real estate and actually I was a real estate or still a real estate wholesaler. I still wholesale real estate. And one of the ways that I'm able to, let me take a step back, wholesale real estate. That's basically finding a property, getting it at a price that is that you can make a profit on, negotiating with the seller, getting it at a price that you make a profit on. Usually that's below market price. Usually it needs some work, and then you connect with an investor or another partner, and they pay you for they'll pay you an amount and you get the difference. So in other words, if I have a property that I get under contract for $100, I may be able to assign my rights to that contract for 115, 120 to another investor, and I make the difference in between. The seller is usually very satisfied because they're usually a challenge or issue that had to be solved. The main way that you're able to find folks who are willing to sell their property at a discount or that you can make a profit on is if they have some type of problem or issue or challenge that you're trying to solve. And that's what took me to the world of probate. Probate, when you pass away, there has to be a way to deal with and rectify the debt and even the assets that's left in your name. And that's the process of probate. If you don't have legal instruments in place, even if you do have a will, it has to go through probate. So there are tools you can use to have your family and loved ones avoid probate. And but there's still quite often estates will have to go through probate. And a lot of times there was property in there. That's what I would find the property. And I learned so much about probate, continue to learn so much about probate, became a certified probate expert. Shout out to Bruce and shout out to all those folks up with the probate mastery course and group in that community. Awesome community. And as I was doing that, I was coming across people who had property, of course, but I was coming across people who also had issues who didn't either want to sell the property in the estate or didn't have property to sell, and they still needed support. And so I was finding all these different tools, as I mentioned, to avoid probate or help make probate process easier. And I kept seeing life insurance as a tool that people were using where their family, their estate didn't have to deal with probate, or they could use the life insurance policy to pay off the debt that was left behind. And so I dabbed in, found some great folks, got my license, all that good stuff, and I'm having a blast since April 14th. I've been out in the field helping. I've maybe put on like 40 or 50 policies on people so far. I need to track my numbers, but it's a fun blast. So I figured today, a lot of my friends and folks who've been close to me are like, well, what's how'd you make that connection? So hopefully I just shared that, but I want to share some of the similarities and differences, more for clarity in my head, as well as it may help someone out there. So similarities between selling final expense life insurance and probate real estate world is it's client centric. You have to focus. It's really almost any area. The customer's right. You have to focus on the client. Now, in the probate real estate, there really was two clients. There was the seller, the person who owned the property or controlled the property, and then there are buyers and investors who need to have a good product. And I had to make sure I focused on both of them. And final expense, I'm focusing on the person who's being insured, as well as the family. Are their needs being met? I have to have big ears to make sure that the policy that we're putting on them matches their needs and wants. Sales and negotiating skills. There's definitely sales and negotiating skills involved in negotiating the contract for a property. Now, when it comes to negotiation skills for final expense, you still are going to use sales skills because all a salesman and negotiator really are people who are professional, well, salesmen particularly, professional decision maker assistants. So I'm helping someone make some really important decisions, whether it's in probate, but especially when it comes to covering and protecting your life. So I like that similarity. Uh, Commission based. Now, this may have squiggly lines because wholesale, you're not necessarily getting a commission. There may be some different municipalities and places where that's involved, but you are getting it based on you eat what you kill, just like in final expense, where if I don't place policies, then I'm not receiving commissions back yet. So it's awesome because there's no limit to what you can do, especially when you start to scale it utilizing systems and tools and people power. Regulatory knowledge. Now, similar, you need to understand the rules of probate, the laws and regulations to be able to effectively support people. You need to understand the laws of the real estate space to be able to support people. And of course, in life insurance, I mean, you got to get your license, you got to take the test, you have to know the laws of that state that you're selling the insurance in. And networking. Both of them are great opportunities. There's so many people involved in a real estate transaction that you get to network and connect with. Now, in final sense, life insurance, if a person's going to pass away, they're probably going to need life insurance. And I think everybody's going to pass away eventually. So the opportunity is boundless. Everyone, anyone you talk to, is going to has a life. Not everyone has a house, but everyone has a life. All right. So let's look at some of the differences. Okay. So the products and services, of course, you're talking about a property or house or helping someone actually go through the probate process. It's a little different than helping someone get the right contract there. Sorry if you hear my little doggy in the background. What are you whining about, boy? Calm down. The clientele. The clientele's a little different here as well. You're helping people who's already lost someone in probate. Usually in the life, you're not usually person's alive that you're working with. So the client's a little bit different. I would say still the demographic does lean more towards an older population. That's just especially for final expense life insurance, you're absolutely in the 55, 50 and older population. Probate, it could be a crapshoot and but most lean towards the older generation as well. The sales cycle is a little different. A sales cycle for a probate could take anywhere. I mean, it could take a week, 2 weeks if you're moving quickly to months to years even. With life insurance, you can sit there for 15, 30 minutes and have a policy on someone or an hour and have a policy on someone. And as far as getting paid, probate can go by very quick, especially if you're at supporting speed. You're doing things to make speed and convenience one of the benefits for the seller. But that speed and convenience still could be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before you receive funds, money. With final expense, you can get paid the same day at the end of the day or the next day. So it really depends. Now, the margins are way larger for each sale for probate quite often, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 for a life insurance policy. It's not going to be that, maybe $1,000 for the commission, and then you'll get residuals, which is a pretty cool thing as they renew their policies. It really just depends on how your commission and your pay is set up. Regulatory requirements. Now, both of them have regulatory requirements, but they're going to be different ones. So you definitely need to understand, even if you're not licensed in the probate real estate space, you have to understand those so that you can comply. Ignorance is not an excuse. And the market dynamics. All right. So both are kind of recession proof because people are always passing away. So they always need life insurance. People are always passing away. So there will be property quite often left behind. Just things to consider. If you want support in the probate real estate space or in the life insurance world, feel free to reach out to me. I love helping people. I love learning. That's how I learn, from helping and supporting people. And so giving me the opportunity to serve is awesome. And you'll be supporting and helping me. One way you can do that is hit that like, hit that subscribe, share the channel with folks. Give me ideas of things you want to discuss or questions you may have. And maybe we can be able to go over that, cover that, and all grow together. All right. This is LITE, the Life in Transitions Experts channel. Let your light shine. Cheers.